Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to the second Grand Prix, second race of the fifth season of the Classic Grand Prix Classics Championship, hosted by Semi-Slick Racing. And I've got the honor to present it to you today. My name is Findict. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel or on the Twitch channel live with the same name, then welcome. I hope you will be enjoying it, and I also hope you have enjoyed the last race. Last race can be found on my YouTube channel as well. I always like to put all of the full VODs of the championship races out there so that people can, and they tend to, rewatch their own races, see what everybody else did, and get a full picture of what is going on in the races, but not just in the races, in the championship as well, because we have a full championship planned here. That's how I like to do things normally when we do when we play racing games like this. It's fun to do an individual race, go online once, beat a couple of people, or get beaten by a couple of people, or do a couple of races in a row, and then have that be it. But these championships, it's much more about getting used to a car, it's about getting consistent with a car, things like that. You start a championship with no points, every race you get points depending on where you finish. At the end of the season we will have a championship winner. It also means that people really live up to these races. We've currently got a decent grid of 16 people, and there's still maybe more to join. Although I think the attendance won't be as good as last race, where we nearly had a full grid of 24, only one shy at 23. So yeah, this is what we got right now, and you can already see the two Williams drivers, Randers and Silver. They're doing a little bit of practice in terms of overtaking and fighting on this tricky track that is the Argentine Grand Prix. Also want to draw your attention quickly to the screen where I have the calendar for you. I've built this today. This is fresh from the press. So last time around we had the Brazilian Grand Prix. That was on the 2nd of February, and today we are doing the Argentine Grand Prix. Italian Grand Prix will be on the 23rd, which is, I think, in a week from now, so it should be good. And then after that, German Grand Prix, what it doesn't show is a non-championship round that I will be streaming. It will be between the 4th and the 5th. It will be at Monaco. There will be races there, but there will not be points available. So since Randers is going back into the pits, I have a look at Dustin, who currently has the second fastest time, which is completely meaningless, the times. People are just driving just to get used to the car. You just saw some people squabble. That's also not because, they have an argument, but because you want to get used to how the car feels in dirty air. If you look closely at the tips of the rear wings, there are vortices there. And especially at high speeds, or the higher the speeds, the more vortices you will see. It kind of indicates that there will be dirty air behind these cars. These are downforce heavy cars, so if you are close to a car, you will struggle a little bit in the corners, but you will also benefit from the slipstream in the straights. Straights will not be that common on this track. This is a fairly slow track overall. Yeah, generally people will not be happy driving closely, and I don't think we'll see... Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I think we'll see fights. Overtakes will be difficult. I don't think they are impossible, but they will be difficult. But that is assuming people drive fairly cleanly. I don't think this will be a clean race either, in terms of with few mistakes of drivers. I don't think there will be many crashes. These drivers are fairly experienced, and I don't see that many crashes anymore. But yeah, individual mistakes are still very possible, and there's a lot of places, one part in particular, where Dustin just drove through, that I think will cause a lot of trouble. Let's look at the track. This is probably not a track you've seen before. If you have, you're either old or a nerd. First corner is a fairly tight one, tight right-hander. We'll go to a little infield section on this track. A small turn to the right and immediately you are on the brakes. Not immediately, you've got a couple of meters to enjoy a bit of speed. Nearly a hairpin, you're out of here again. You have to lift a little bit through this corner, maybe a little bit of brake. Go through here, try to carry as much speed as you can, and then on the brakes for this corner. You want to carry a lot of speed out of it, because this is actually, I think, the longest non-braking part. It's not really a straight, because it is this corner, which is wide enough, I think, for to take flat out, but immediately after you are on the brake. So there's going to be possibly a place you can overtake, but it's going to be extremely tricky. And through here, small chicane. This is a tricky path. It's very slow, as you can see. Easy. You want to use as much space as you can. It's very easy on the outside to go a little bit overboard, touch a little bit too much grass, and lose all of your speed. I think that's where we will see mistakes of that kind. Out of here, if people don't have a good exit, there's opportunities here, maybe. But it's a very short run, as you can see. And then here, after this near hairpin, you do enter the start-finish straight again. And that is a lap for this Argentinian Grand Prix. Also see Gerald Speed, his teammate, right behind. Gerald, who finished second last time in the race. Actually, let's quickly have a look at what the standings are. Let's see. Driver standings. Domschka, last race, with great speed, strength, not, I would say, maybe dominance. It was very good. He had a rough start and everything else was absolutely perfect. 15 points to his name, won the last race. Goldsmith was second, or second in standings. Randers was third. He also had the fastest lap last time around. Dustin was fourth, so the Bentons have done a really great last time. And then we've got the Crow, Michael, Silver, Statue. I think most of these drivers are here again today. Nacho and Statue, though, they did swap positions because Nacho was given a time penalty for an incident during the race last time. That is a small change. We've got Cavalo, Mario, who cannot be here today. I don't think I've seen Cavalo either yet. I think I've seen quite a few people not here yet, but I will double check in a bit. Yeah, and then we got Max as well, who got the last point last time. A couple of people that haven't shown up yet, or have not finished a race yet. I think PC Finch might have, but I think the rest unfortunately could not finish the race. And then you got actually the driver today, and he is here and he is driving. It's Abo. Abo, for me, I have driven with him. I think it was quite decent from what I remember. But I'm curious to see how he adapts to this cars, and he may have been on a bit of a hiatus. Already, always, well, not necessarily lose your ability, but you will not be as fast as maybe you once were. It's the British driver on the grid. He's not 15th, ignore that number. He's driving for the Simtech team today. But he's a reserve driver, so he may not be here every race. That's not his plan anyway. Let's switch to, we've already seen Silver a little bit driving behind Randers. Switch to, let's see, Michael. I do remember, let me check something. I feel like Michael is in the wrong car. Okay, we'll scold him for that after. For now, we'll accept it. At least I think we're looking at Michael. Yeah, we are. He finished 8th last race. No, sorry. He finished 6th last race. He had a very interesting race. A big fight with Jordi, who I haven't seen yet. Also, he has completely skipped part of the track. You're not allowed to do that during the race, of course. That is a massive advantage you would gain. But he is showing off that this track is actually a lot of different tracks. That's pit lane entry, actually. That is just a pit lane entry. That's fine. There's actually a lot of different tracks. There's a lot of different layouts you can drive around this track. And this is one of the slower ones for sure, in terms of the track is longer today than it was last week. But the times will be a lot slower. We're looking at 1.5 minutes roughly per lap, as you can see. It will be dry though, so we will not sit here any longer. Normally we determine the amount of laps by distance. This was done for this track, but it will be 42 laps, which is 2 more laps than the last track, so it would take a lot longer. It's been reduced to 38, just to bridge that gap a little bit. We'll probably sit here a little longer than last week anyway, but it does save us a whole 6 minutes. So that's good news. Maybe. If it's a good fight at the end, we will absolutely have wanted more laps of that, but you know, you can't have everything. We're looking at Hans Topo, who I think he did join last race, but I think it was the first retirement. And apparently that was because the screen went to black as soon as the race started, which is really unfortunate. He immediately retired. I don't think there were any incidents as a result. So today is really the first time he can really show off what he's made of. And I'm really interested to see his teammate Kamikaze is also here. Oh, and there's a little bit of a glitch. You see his car is not touching the ground. That is, I hope that fixes itself between sessions, but I think I was at a big crash. Yeah, it's a really good, like, this game is so goofy. This game is extremely goofy. There's many glitches, some funny, some not so funny. I think it's still a glitch where you may have selected in your planning for your pit stop that you want to add some fuel. There's a good chance the game will just not give you any fuel, which has been a glitch for, I think, from release day. It's still not been fixed, and this game is out for like, what is it, 5 years now? I don't know when this game released. Let's have a Google. So Ultimate List 2 released on March 31st, 2020. So in about a month, it's 5 years. That was its initial release date. That may have been the beta release. Yeah, the 1.0 version was on June 30th of the same year. So, the game has almost been available to the public for a year. Or not a year, 5 years. So, some things unfortunately still haven't been fixed. That's really, really unfortunate. But it is what it is. And we'll keep driving with it. Because it is still a lot of fun to drive. A lot of that, of course, because of the throttle model. I say, of course, this is a bit of an early fact, but when you press the throttle pedal in your car, it behaves a certain way. Many games do not simulate this correctly. But MS2 is a lot closer to the truth. So that's a fun fact. I feel like the Crow, one of the drivers in the Ligier team, which is currently leading the standings. I will show you the team standings in a bit. He is also in the wrong car. It's going very well. It happens. And we've got, I think, Ride or Die joined, so that's really, really nice. So we've got 19 people on the grid right now. That's a nicely packed grid. Let me quickly show you the team standings then, because I do want to be complete before we continue on. So we've got the Ligier team, of course, on top with both Domska and the Crow having a very good race last time, but slightly ruined by the Benetton of Gerald, who was ahead, and I think Brandis was also ahead in the Williams. Those two great results are represented in the standings. Sauber also had two drivers very nicely up in the points. They got rewarded for that. It was Nacho and Michael. Did of course lose a point after the penalty, but still at 11 points. Ahead of Ferrari. And then McLaren is a decent distance behind. And we've got a Jordan. Jordan team on P7 with 1 point. Rest of the teams, Tyrell, Minardi, Simtek and Parmalat, who I have now renamed, they all have no points yet. That is the team standings as they are after the first round. Let's now look forwards to the current round. We're about to start qualifying. Half a minute of practice is left. The drivers are simply... Well, I mean, I think I've seen a lot of drivers just driving just to get a good feel for the track, because it is such a tricky track. I don't think... It's very unlikely that it's going to be decided at qualifying, I think. I feel like it will be about who makes the last mistake, essentially. Who make, yeah. You will have a list of people who will be fastest, who will be able to keep up. And between them, it will be decided by who makes the last few mistakes, who stays the most consistent. Big mistakes will cost you more, of course. There is walls that you can hit. Although generally, it's not that likely that you will. Paradise is in the pits. Domska, of course, race winner. We'll look at his qualifying performance in a bit. Bo is... Oops, I just crossed the line and beat Gerald. And Gerald is finishing his lap. You can see him navigating these slow corners. This is extremely tricky in these cars. They have so much power. Yeah, he's trying out pit entry as well. I think one of the drivers might be Kamikaze. Yeah, it's doing a donut there. It's not that bad because it's practice, but if you do that in qualifying, you don't really need the pit lane, so it's not damaging. If you do it in the race, I feel like there will be words, and you will probably hear something from the organizers. Something you might not like to hear. Let's see who's still driving. Arderick in the McLaren this weekend. Arderick has been some talk about the last race. There was some incidents involving him, and I quickly want to check because I feel like... Ooh, where is it? There was something about incidents. I cannot find it in the in the group. Let's have a look at who gets out of the pits first. I'm hearing noises. Ride or Die is driving. We've got other people out first. Statue. We've got JJ. JJ, he is first, so we'll watch his lap. That's how I do it. Oh, and he's probably been overtaken by now by many people. Who are we looking at? Statue. Yeah, Statue. That's the man who we're gonna watch. Yeah, it's a race. You have to be out first and then not go onto the grass. You want a good view without any obstructions of any other cars for a lap around the track that we'll be seeing a lot of. 38 laps, in fact, and a lot more because of qualifying, of course. Statue's race last time was super interesting. Had a few incidents, I think, at the start. Don't think they were all his fault, so he was set back quite a bit, and they had to drive back. Personally, he wasn't happy with his performance in the sense that he thought he made a lot of mistakes, things like that. But the results, I mean, he climbed back from all the way in the back to, what was it, P8? P9 with... And because of the penalty, got bumped up to P8. But yeah, that's really good. And if he has a bad start, hopefully not. I hope he has a good start today. He can really show what he's doing, what he can do. So let's just hope for that. Let's start with qualifying. This is where it all begins. Just for your starting grid, which may be important because of overtakes, which will be difficult on this track. That will be turn 1. Not optimal out of it, but keeps the car nicely under control. It will be a banker lap the first time around. Nearly a hairpin through here. And power as early as you can under the Palatec signs. A little bit of a lift through here. Try to carry as much speed. Oh, that may have been over the limit. I don't think the game has complained yet, so he's okay. As a result, he did mess up all of his lines. And that corner lost a lot of time there. A lot of these corners flow into each other. If you make a mistake on one, it will be shown in the next as well. Some people knocking over the 100 meter sign. That's inconvenient for the rest. Through here nicely over these apexes a little bit. Oh, but he makes a mistake. Car got unsettled, and that is our demo lap into the grass. He's okay. He's okay. But we'll go to Randers instead. Who I don't think he's set up full lap yet. I don't think the 37 is a full lap. Somebody on the grass there. It's so easy to make mistakes here. You make a mistake on one corner, the next corner is going to be so much harder. And these curbs, well, some of the flat curbs, I don't think they are much of a problem. But this chicane, if you look at the curbs behind them, I think that is a lot more unsettling. They are a lot higher. If you go over them too harshly, the car will be unsettled and it will be very difficult to control, which is what happened to a Ferrari earlier of statue. Randers nicely going through these. Somebody, yeah, spun around and decided to reset to the pits. Very nice way to do that, to not obstruct anyone coming in. Last corner then. What is Randers gonna do? Where is he gonna sit? Across the line, and he's in P2 ahead of Dustin. Oh, hello. Seems like the pace is real. Randers ahead of Dustin. I said after the race in the group chat with them that, I mean, Randers is not a bad driver, of course. He's very, very skilled, but to be on par, even beating Dustin on track, that is definitely something to be extremely happy about, and he's showing it again. So yeah, the pace is absolutely real, as we see. I think both Ligier cars on top of each other, literally, because one of them is ghosted. I think Domska, no, not Domska, the Crow had to restart as a result. One of them is not showing. But yeah, Domska, of course, excellent race last time. Bad start though. Everything else was good. Hopefully this time he has a good start and can really show what he's worth when everything does go his way. In qualifying, he's already doing that. Currently 126 flat. Quite a way ahead of everyone else. 6 tenths of Randers, 7 tenths of the Crow, his teammate. Dustin in P4. Currently also quite far behind, obviously, but the gap to the Crow and Randers is very bridgeable. We've got Nacho, Michael, Silver, HGM is also there, Abo, JJ as a set lap. Then we've got people further back, maybe not quite representative yet. We've got Hans Topo, we've got Ride or Die, Statue, Gerald Smith, and Gion Game Tiger. His full name is. He's set a lap. He's now set a slightly better lap. We'll be trying to improve his time a lot more, I'm sure. A couple of people that haven't set a lap at all yet. Max Manfred, Kamikaze, PC Finch, and Ardo Rick. All of those will be trying to set that lap quickly, because this is a tough track. If you go across the line, your lap time is invalid. If you leave it till the last moment, it's very possible that you will not be able to set a lap time at all. Max Manfred has now set a lap. It's not good for anything better than 16, but a lap it is. And at least you'll beat the people that will not be able to set a lap. And Ardoric, that's what I was thinking of. Ardoric, because of incidents last time, has unfortunately lost the right to, as we see someone on the grass. I think PC Finch we're looking at, unfortunately not going to finish the lap either. Ardoric last time had some incidents, has been deemed at fault for these incidents, and has as a result been banned from this qualifying session. This will rest for the rest of the season. So just people paying extra attention. Oh, there's a costly mistake there by Kamikaze. Too much throttle, and that's so easy to do in this game in particular. It's so easy to put too much torque into your engine, and it will start to spin around. Randers also struggling to keep it on track. This is such a tough track. And people are proving it. These are not the worst drivers we can find. Absolutely not. It's just an extremely tough track. Monaco is maybe, and it's not easier. I will not pretend it's easier, but it is. You're discouraged from going overboard because of the walls, right? This track does not have walls. You're not discouraged that much. You might go off track, but you won't hit a wall, you know. So people, I think, are a little bit more brave, and as a result, mistakes are being made, which is good for entertainment. I'll be excited for the racing. We'll have to see how that all turns out. Quickly going through and updating my administration so I can start to prepare myself for when qualifying ends. Would like to show you the starting grid in a nice format as I've done last time. And all is up to date. Domska finishing another lap, not an improvement yet. I think he's hunting for one though. That 126 flat is begging to be turned into a 125 something. I think he's really pushing for it. He wants to show that he can do it. I've had sessions where I've set the time and I think this is literally the best I can do. I'm sitting the rest out. But I think if you're at 126 flat, you're the fastest around and there's a chance for a 125. I would go for it. I would push as much as I can. But it's not going to come for free. It means matching a lap time first and then being slightly faster than it. He is using everything going over that line. As long as the game doesn't complain, it's fine. And this game can be a bit lenient. Sometimes it's really strict and sometimes it's really lenient. So it's whatever the game says. In that way, everybody's playing according to the same rules. If one corner you can cut a little bit more, then that corner you can cut a little bit more. And if you know that and you do that during the race, you will gain time. But generally, like fully cutting the track, ooh, that's a bit of a mistake from Domska, who I think has done his tires in. The Crow also crossing the line now. It's an improvement, but not nearly good enough for another position. Randers and Dustin will still be driving. There's 5 minutes left. That is enough time. Absolutely. To try and improve. Try to dethrone Domska, who looks to be absolutely the favourite for the race. Judging by this pace. But we have seen that he starts struggles, and around this track you're gonna have to do it by strategy, I guess, because overtaking is absolutely not easy. Schmidt then, he is currently P6. I think he's got more in him, but it's sometimes hard to say that sometimes tracks just don't suit you so much, so you're a little bit slower, and some other tracks will suit you and you're like the fastest on the grid suddenly. It happens, but Gerald currently, I think, quite an adequate performance, doing quite well. But there might be a bit more in there. As long as he's in the top 6, I think he will be quite alright with it. But P4 is a lot better. Speedson, his teammate, Dustin, ahead of Stachy now as well, the Ferrari being demoted to P6. Got Nacho in the Sauber, currently P7, and his teammates right behind him, P8. Both driving for the Simtech team, pushing them well up the grid with P9 currently. Doing a great job as a reserve driver. We've got Silva in P10 for the Williams, trailing his teammate by a decent amount, but Randers is really showing up this season, so that's more a compliment to him than... And also the grid is actually quite tight at the top. The entire top 10 I know has good experience and aim is too. All decent drivers in their own right, in their own way. So I think it's also going to be difficult for any of the other drivers to get in there, to make a stand against Silver and anybody above. But it's not impossible. As we see ACM struggle a bit with a lockup, really trying to push it, but overdoing it. Oh, and JJ also struggling. JJ has also shown more pace in the past. Hopefully we'll be able to unlock that yet again during the season, or maybe even during the race. It's also possible that this track absolutely doesn't suit him. Is this a rare track to see in a season? Ride or die in the McLaren. I think that's where he's supposed to be, yes. He's joined by Alderic this week, or this race. Currently P13. Kamikaze in P14. He's improved himself quite a bit, actually. Credit to him. Ooh, and that's a bit of an error there on his part. Subcurrently P15 ahead of Max Manfred. PC finish is in P18 behind Game Tiger. And that's the bottom reaches, roughly. And Domska has done it. He has set a 125.7. I hope he is now satisfied. I don't think he's going to go out again. I don't think anyone's beating that either. So good job to him. The Crow in P2 making a Lige 1-2. And Randers in the Williams in P3 currently, followed by the Benettons of Gerald and Dustin in that order. Statue in P6. Then we've got Nacho and Michael the Saubers in 7 and 8. Silver in the Williams has been demoted. No, he was P10 earlier. I just hadn't updated my other screen. Above P9, Silver P10, ACM and JJ right behind that, still virtually in the points, but of course no points for qualifying. We'll be seeing some of the last laps now. Who are we going to look at? I feel like everything between 2 and 6, they're all fighting for something. Let's have a look at Statue, who had a very interesting race last time. Ooh, let's not have a look at Statue. I think I've ruined it. I think, yeah, I've cursed him. He will not be able to set another lap. Geralt is also not going to improve. Stuck at P4. And Michael thinks we're skipping some of the track. I need a lap in. And I need to start it soon. Which is wisdom, honestly. I think Randers is maybe going to have enough time for another lap. We'll have a look, because it's going to be close. And Randers does need to not only attack the Crow, but defend from Dustin as well. Dustin gets a good improvement. Randers is still not safe in that P3. And even Nacho gets an amazing improvement. Half a second would be incredible. I think Randers... No, he's stopped. Okay. Randers is going to be in P3 as it stands with that time. Dustin then. What is Dustin going to do? Through that chicane and into, I believe it's turn 6. Well, I think it's called turn 8 or something. It's something strange. Here we have the fast right-hander. No braking needed. No lifting needed even, I think. He's really pushing. He wants at least a teammate, but Randers is also in reach. Going through this slow section then. He's got a very slow set of corners ahead of him. After that, still not a hairpin. Many mistakes possible here, especially on throttle. This car can be tough. He's okay. He survives it. There he goes. Where is he going to come out? I am really curious. It could be anywhere. Ahead of Geralt, ahead of Randers. Is it going to be an improvement at all? 114 behind, 111 behind. Oh, he improves, but I don't think his position improved. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, Dustin is stuck in P5. He improved his time, but not his position. He's actually not much off. 3.5 hundredths. And the Crow, unfortunately, because of incidents during the session, he's demoted 2 places. So he will be starting in P4. There he is. This is maybe not entirely what you want in a championship in the game, but this is just the rules. This is how they're set up. If you break the rules, you will be punished like this. Now, let's quickly, if I can get a better view, please. I cannot get a better view. I give up. I was trying to get a better view. I've made it worse. Okay. Yes, fixed it. Okay, let's have a look at starting grid. Domska in P1, followed by Randers in P2 because of the 2-place grid penalty from the Crow. Promoted nicely up into the front row. Then Gerald next, followed by the Crow, Dustin, Statue, Nacho, Michael, next to each other, the Saubers. A really good job for a reserve driver in the Simtech today. We've got E Silver next to him. HGM and JJ are in the last spots for the points as it stands. Then we've got Ride or Die in 13th, Kamikaze in 14th, Hans Topo and Max Manfred next to each other in 15th, 16th. Pamalat also really close to each other, so that's very nice. The Minardi of Game Tiger is in 17th. PC Finch in 18th place, and Arderick was not allowed to qualify in the McLaren, is in P19. He complied with that very nicely. So there's actually no hard, you can't exclude someone from qualifying in the software. This is something that the stewards have decided. He's respected the decision. He stayed in the box. I don't think I've seen him exit at all. So yeah, that's very, very good behavior from our drivers. I wish I had a better camera. But here we go. This is the start for the Argentine Grand Prix. And I think Domska has a decent start. We're going to look from the roof of Randers to get a better view of this. Dustin behind, I think, at the top. Everything stays as it was, with Gerald even still ahead of the Crow. The Crow pushed a little bit wide. Dustin has a look. Nothing there as of right now. Yeah, that is as they started, that's how they leave. And I think I see, is it Hans Topo next to the track? Yeah, it is. Oh, he's lost all of the positions. Nacho also, has he already stopped? He was way further up. He was on speed 7. As unfortunately, because I think a couple of incidents, maybe made a mistake himself, but all the way in the back now. What have we got here? The Crow is fighting. The Crow wants that position, and there he goes on the inside. Oh, it's not enough though. Gerald parries the attack. And as it started, it still is. Biggest winner of the start really is Michael, who went from 8th to 6th, just like that. And there the Crow goes on the inside in the slow section, seeking a little bit of attachment to his teammate to become a 1-2 again for the Ligier team. Of course, Randers is still in between them. Yeah, Gerald Sweet demoted to P4, and Dustin is right behind. Is he also gonna go for it? Is Gerald vulnerable? Gerald has a lot of experience with driving an Amos too, but maybe right now, ooh, it serves him just right. Goes defensively into the first corner. Dustin doesn't have a chance, and he knows it. He doesn't even try it. But he is so close behind. His gap is essentially, it's not meaningless. The fact that the car is a physical object that you have to go around, though, is much more meaningful than the gap right now. I think the dirty air for Dustin is gonna start doing him in slowly but surely as a gap is starting to form. And if it's not in this slow section, I fear that Dustin's chance to overtake Gerald may have passed. Doesn't mean he will not get any in the future, of course. The Benettons keeping position as they are now. I also see that Nacho has already overtaken Arderick. Arderick, I think, also struggling a little bit with these cars, and maybe this track, because it is such a tough track. There will be a lot of mistakes. Not necessarily at the front. I think the top 5, I think, will be able to handle themselves. Michael and Statue are quite a bit away from each other. HGM, under my nose, I didn't see him. It's actually made a lot of places, and actually the biggest winner of all after the starting few meters is Kamikaze, who's currently defending against that bow. Currently in P9, I think he qualified on like 13th. He's done a great job to put themselves well into the points. If he can keep consistent, I think it's very realistic he walks away with some points today. It would be great after his retirement last time. Only able to show what he is worth. It's absolutely not nothing, of course. Let's see what else we've got. E-Silver has dropped a little bit now on P12. Ride or Die also moved up a decent amount. Oh, and there's a big mistake from Abo. Abo! Oh, that's a big crash into the wall. Is he able to recover? He's able to drive back to the track. It's a little bit of a slant, unfortunately. You're gonna need traction. Hopefully he doesn't cause any incidents. There will be some cars coming. I think he's really careful about rejoining here. Because if you just go straight onto the track, you will be rejoining on the racing line. He thinks better of it. Comes back in P17. That is a big loss for him. He kept it very clean. So big thanks to him for that, honestly. But a real tragedy. Also, Nacho's close to him. I think he's got some damage that he's going to have to fix. That will, yeah, there he goes into the pits. I don't think it will be a one-stop for him. Maybe it won't be a one-stop for a lot of other people either, as JJ, sneakily, I just wanted to click on him, goes past Max Manfred. That is full P12 right now. Max Manfred also decent start. Game tag ahead of Hans Topo. They've also switched positions since the start. Oh, actually, they might be fighting. Sopo was looking at it. Oh, Ride or Die also on the grass. I said this earlier. I said this, I believe, even in qualifying. This will not be a race purely based on who's faster. This will be based on who makes the last mistake. This will be an endurance race, if anything. Yeah, mistakes will happen, especially below the top 5. I think we will see quite a few. The top 5 does really seems to have driven away from everyone else. The top 3 even having their own little island. And Domska is actually completely alone. Got the Benettons nice together at least. That seems to keep happening. It's nice to have some cohesion there. See, JJ is now ahead of Silver. What it doesn't explain is... Oh, Ride or Die dropped a few positions. I see Silver being overtaken by Manfred. Does he have damage? Did something happen? Hard to say from a distance, unfortunately. Even if the game were to show us damage, it's not always accurate. It's not showing any damage right now, but it's also not always accurate. It might have some suspension damage, but it's hard to say from here. Whatever he's dealing with, it is a long race. Oh, and Game Tiger also in the wall, having lost a lot of positions, a couple of positions. I don't think it's that many. He has lost a few positions now. And oh, I see a bow is all the way in the back now. Yes, unfortunately, well, he stopped, of course. I think that's maybe the full story, because repairing takes time. I have to look at these two, though. The Crow is really hunting for that second place. DJ team wanting that 1-2 finish. They managed it. Well, they did manage it last time. Crow had to settle for 5th. So maybe today. Be very good for the team if they can manage it. But it's absolutely not free. People will be fighting you so hard for it. I think Nacho has actually made up a lot of positions. He's back in P14. So credit to him real quick. The Crow and Randers are currently just line astern, one after the other. Doesn't seem to be... There was a moment where the Crow was very close. Something seemed to be brewing, but right now I think Randers has control over the situation. Even if the Crow may be faster on pace, he's not fast enough to stage an overtake yet. This will be a strategy battle, is my prediction. Let's see, ride or die. I think it was already behind Silver. Kamikaze has lost the position to JJ. JJ doing a decent job recovering. Already in P9, nicely into the points. Also HGM, very nicely into the points as well. I think he had a lot of struggles, like technical struggles last time. Barely joined during qualifying. There seemed to be a bit of a gap, but now he's really shown up and he's currently P8. That's a good point haul, absolutely. Let's see, I think. Hans Topo in the grass. Losing a couple of positions again. It is such a tough track to tame. He's back on track as Bo has also... Aderic might be struggling with a lot of damage. I don't quite know what's going on here. Seems to be going very slowly. It could be that he doesn't have a rear wing. He's gonna go into the pits. And there he goes. Hopefully it's repairable damage. That is not what you want to see. Absolutely not. And it's still on the defense. Gap between the Benettons is, I think, quite stable. Does it not really... I don't think he's too interested in getting closer. It might sometimes happen to the braking zones, or don't know what differences they would have in setup. Of course, the drivers can make their own setups and make them more make the cars more suitable for specific things, specific conditions, corners, straights, you name it. If it's wet, they can set up for that. Of course, it's not wet today, so it's not really relevant, but they can. There will be future races where there will be a wet track and even rain. Yes, those two are different. There will be at least one race where the track will start wet, but dry up over time. There will be no rain in the air. So watching the Crow still in P3. I'm not sure how he will be feeling about this. I'm not sure if he had many hopes of winning the race. And if that is the case, if he did, then he will be a bit frustrated with this. If not, I think he would be staying calm, trying to do his laps, and trying to win on strategy. Wait for Randers to make a mistake, because we've seen a lot of other people make a mistake. I say it's less likely in the top 5. But there's no law in the universe stopping them from making a big mistake and landing into the wall. So yeah, we'll have to see if they're going to stay okay. And I think Silver has, unfortunately, his teammate, Randa's teammate. Randa's doing a great job today. I think Silver's made not a mistake. It's been dropped to P14. Currently on his own. So yeah, hard to say exactly what happened there. Manfred in P11, I thought might be close to the driver ahead, but I think there's a decent gap. Gaps are forming. The only gap that hasn't really formed yet is between P3 and P3. So the Crow and Randers, we're going to keep an eye on you two. But Domska fan in chat and somebody really enjoying the nice and full grid. It is a very good grid that we have. It's also, there's a lot of skill in the grid, but it's a very wide skill level that we allow generally. Will be people that are more experienced, that know the game a lot better, know this car a lot better, these tracks a lot better. Domska, Dustin, Geralt, the Crow, Randers, all very experienced, very good drivers. Michael also super experienced. That I know that from him for a fact. I think Abo has retired for a while, but I know he's driven a lot. I've driven with him, and I'm quite the like 2021 Amos 2 driver. That's when I joined and organized events. That's kind of the timeline we're looking at. These people have been in this with this game for years. It's kind of become its own little community. That's really nice. We'll organize our own leagues. Yeah. Fun little world. You will see people in like crossover between different leagues and groups as well, which is always fun. So people will be super eager to drive in literally everything that can get their hands on. And some people are like, oh, they'll do just one, maybe two, just focus on something, have a little bit of fun, and that will be it. I think this race is a little bit at risk of, come on, a little bit still. A lot of gaps are quite big. So in that sense, I think the action is limited. However, one must not forget there are mandatory pit stops. Errors are very easily made. I've seen a lot of people spin out already. Ooh, and I think somebody left. I'm going to have to hunt down. I think a bow has unfortunately left us. We've got somebody who actually is signed up as a reserve. Oh, I think somebody was on the grass. I immediately reflexively go to someone in the back, but it wasn't. It might have been JJ instead. I don't know. It's one of these cars. JJ is in the Minardi, and so is Game Tiger. It wasn't JJ. I think it was Game Tiger in the grass, unfortunately. So decent gap behind him too, and so might be okay. He might just be fine. Oh, and the Crow is so close. So close to Randers, who is holding on for dear life to this position. Second place for him would be phenomenal after what was a little bit surprise finishing in P3. Improving on that on the very next race would be gigantic, especially his rivals in the championship. Domska is one last race. He seems to be running away with it so far. He has become our new Alan Fry. Alan Fry, of course, winning the last few seasons all in a row. Didn't decide to join this one, so everybody's got a shot now. And I think Domska's running away with it as it looks. Randers P2 would be excellent for a championship hopes for a driver position as he can finish. I think he will be ecstatic to be driving this well. He will be there's like a level of excitement that you hit if you start joining these races. You start actually fighting for higher positions. You start looking out for these races even more. I think that's what he's feeling. Maybe as we drive even. Though he can't feel it too much because the Crow is so close. Like one small mistake and the Crow is through with absolute certainty. He's gonna look. Oh, it's just not. Randers late on the brakes though, is not hitting any apexes right now. The Crow is looking, but it's just not possible here. It's one line through here. He's gonna. Oh, he's gonna have to find a difference somewhere. There are differences, but they're just not big enough. This track is so tricky to overtake. Through here, there's one line. There's no way you can set up differently. Chicanes are like that sometimes. Ooh, but Randers is going wide, and maybe this is an opportunity for the Crow. This is a decently long straight if he's got a better exit. Oh, I don't think he does. I don't think it's enough. I think what we are seeing, this is really unfortunate. I think the Crow has more downforce. The difference in speed was a lot bigger, I think, than it should have been. I think that's because the Crow has more downforce. I think he's faster in the corners. That's why he gets so close. But on the straights, he cannot fight as it stands. He will need a bit more than what he's gotten so far. Will probably involve a mistake from Randers. The dirty air doing a little bit dirty there, sending him a bit wide. Randers so close to the grass, but he keeps it on through here. Oh, there's a speed difference on the inside. Maybe the Crow. No, he doesn't. Oh, actually he does. Randers goes wide. And the Crow is through, maybe. Oh, not quite. Oh, there's a touch. Randers stays ahead. It is fair game. Absolutely fair game. Oh, it's almost heartbreaking. But yeah, the Crow, unfortunately, there was an opportunity there. But because of the chicane, he's just not ahead enough. He was side by side, but not ahead. As a result, he's going to have to stick in P3. I think it will be very frustrating for him. I think he wants to go past. I think he wants to start trying to hunt down Domska. Even if it looks so difficult. Domska is so quick. But at least he wants a shot. He feels he's faster. He feels he's being held up. He wants a shot at it. And Randers will not let go of this position. If he finishes P2 today, it will make his rest of the week. All the way from Monday to Friday. And I think the next race is next week. So he'll be buzzing all the way through. Look, are absolutely pushing, trying to get as close as he did again. Going for a late apex maybe here. I think Randers is a bit weak there. I think that's where you have to do it. Not this lap though. Who's last on the brakes? I think Randers later on the brakes again. It's kind of his style, but if he decides to go any later, he does overdo it like he did last lap. And there will be an opportunity for the Crow, maybe. Very close driving, but fortunately, drivers here are clean enough that actual crashes are really rare. We have also lost someone else. I'm gonna have to try and figure out who it is, even though I really want to watch this fight. PC Finch ahead of Game Tiger. Maximum Fred has dropped back a decent amount. I think Silver is out. I think we've lost Silver. Yeah, we've lost Silver. That's unfortunate. He's misses me actually. So I will be. Oh, his engine unfortunately has some issues with his engine. It could only use 4 gears. Now this car's I think at least have 6 normally. So 4 is not enough. Modern F1 cars of course have 8. I think these will have 7 or 8. I'm not entirely sure. That's very unfortunate. It's normally 6. Silver informs me. It used to be a bug, so it wasn't any damage, it seems. That is really unfortunate. I've actually not heard of that bug, so that one's new, added to the list. Unfortunately, let's say it was a mechanical retirement. The gearbox had some issues. He will be back. The Williams teams will have a look at. it. The engineers will be fixing that before the next race. And, for the next time around. Yeah, next time around he will be able to set the result he is absolutely deserving of. Also remind you, last time he finished 7th place, which I think he was very happy about. Hopefully today didn't really go his way. In the end, a bug forced him to lose nearly half of his gears. Had to retire. Yeah, these days the cars have 6 gears. Oh, no, sorry, these days they have 8 gears. Back in the day they had 6. Gearing these days is quite funny because first gear is literally the start and you go out of it so quickly. And maybe out of the pits you use it. But you hit 100 so quickly. You have to shift up, and that's basically all the first gear does. In video games, you might want to shift down to first to get a little bit more rotation if you're really gunning for a little bit of grip, but normally don't use it much. But the Crow is looking, he is prodding. Randers is doing such a good job here. I don't just want to look at these people, but this is the fight we have. Maximum Fred is also... No, okay. There's a bit of a gap. We'll watch these two until turn 1, and then we'll quickly look at what Manfred is doing behind Kamikaze. Currently P11 and P12. Ride or Die has moved up to 10. Very good job from him. There's someone, takes to the grass just to keep out of the way of this fight. Very nice, very good. JJ in the pits. That might be a planned stop. It will be early, unless he's going for a 2-stop. That might be a very nice planned stop. I've heard in communications before the race that likely these this race will be decided, the pit stops will be decided on the tire wear and not necessarily the fuel. There might be tire limited today, which is interesting. Also means that knowing how much fuel you can take on board can save you so much time. The Crow, so close. Hannes is positioning his car really well. The track is not too wide, it's not too hard, but he's absolutely making sure it's exactly where it needs to be. Although the Crow is keeping up now. Oh, I think he really wants to set up here. Late apex, trying to go for a better exit. This is shaping up to be maybe a move into turn 1. He's in the slipstream. He is so close. You see the wing vortices on Randa's car on the inside then. This is going to be an attempt. The Crow, is he going to go for it? He's side by side with Randa's. Randa's on the outside. He's going to be able to hold on the inside here. The Crow holds on outside around the hairpin. Is he going to stay side by side? It's so close. Randa's is still there, but he doesn't get the exit, and the Crow is in P2. What an excellent bit of racing of these two. And a very, very deserved 1 position. Oh, and he makes a mistake. He spins. The Crow is sideways. It's not for long, but he worked so long. 18 laps, a little less. He suffered in P3. He finally overtook Randers, and immediately, within the same lap, makes a mistake. He's back in P3. My goodness. I didn't script this. This is incredible. Yeah, it happens. This happens. This track is very difficult. I said mistakes would happen. He saved it very nicely, though. There was every opportunity for him, or chance for him to go on the grass there. He made sure that didn't happen. As a result, he's still in the fight. Also noticed Gerald Smith has now dropped behind Dustin. These two have swapped positions. Might also have been a similar mistake as you saw moments ago. And quickly, I'm going to have to hunt around again. I think we've got another retirement. It's not Lisa Finch. It's not. Nacho is still. He's actually all the way up into the 9th place, Nacho. A very good job. JJ's still there. Ride or Die still driving. Kamikaze. I don't see Kamikaze. I think he's our next retirement. That's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I need to update my... a lot is happening actually in the back here. These have swapped positions a lot. Oh, and Dustin... I think Dustin just stopped. Okay, he stopped already. Lap 19, which is halfway through the race. That's perfectly fine. Michael is now in P5. We'll be happy about that. We'll also have to stop later. So that's not anything he can be too happy about yet. I'm quickly checking. I think... JT lost a couple of positions. I think that's the biggest changes here. Hans-Topo gained a few. Yeah. So it makes PC Finch. Last time, I think he was the only finisher outside of the points. Today, he's in the points. Just needs to hold on to it. Will not be too easy, maybe? Hans-Topo is... He's quite a bit behind, but one mistake can make all the difference here. And we've seen mistakes all the way up and down the field. I think that's... Yeah, Game Tag, unfortunately, not having a good handle of his car yet. I think Arderick is also struggling in the McLaren, standing in today. Or, I think it's Mario in the other McLaren. And he's going into the pits right now. Okay, that's perfectly fine. That's normal. Brandis and Gerald also in the pits. Now the Crow, what is he gonna do? I don't think he will stay out for much longer. I think a lot of people have planned pit stops right now. Likely because the tires are completely unbearable and we do not want to be on them. That's what I'm thinking. Domska still dominantly ahead. He's actually at a good start. He's start to finish. He has been the fastest driver. I think he's starting to struggle a little bit, as you saw the car not quite behaving. Let's see in the cockpit. Let's see how he's using his wheel. So I suspect, yeah, there's a little bit of counter steer, but that's very controlled. He's doing a great job on the throttle pedal. Trying to get everything, all the traction he can. Oh, yeah, see, counter steer. Oh, has to lift a little bit. Yeah, it's done for these tires as well. He's going into the pits. A little bit of lockup, but that's fine. These tires have been used and will be replaced. Hopefully the pit crew will actually replace the tires. Let's see what the Crow is doing then. I suspect he might also be going into pits. No, he keeps going. And will be taking the virtual lead. Domska's still there, and Randers is quite a bit back. I don't think he's a threat for Domska. He will be coming out of the pits right now. Not in the lead every lap this race, but he will essentially... He's still essentially in the lead. The Crow still needs to stop. Hasn't done so yet. It is, honestly, he's probably driving against Randers' time. Randers' car will be a lot heavier. And as you see on the Delta, it is increasing rapidly. It seems to be that way. I think it might be that different parts of the track suit the cars differently because of differences set up. But I do think it's overall increasing. If the Crow is able to stay out a couple of laps, and I think he does, might actually. I thought it was in a different part of the track, but he's still before the closed section. After that's the pit entry. If he stays out, there might be a chance that he overtakes Randers in an overcut. Although, yeah, it does seem to be the different parts of the track do kind of mess with the Delta. The Delta isn't 100% accurate. And I don't know how his tires are faring. Let's quickly look at his cockpit. Is he going to counter steer just as much as the Crow was? Oh, sorry, Domska was earlier. This is the Crow we're looking at. Oh, he is going to the pits. Yeah, a little bit of lockup there. It's going into the pits then. Domska will be retaking the lead. That is not the question. What is the question is where's Randers gonna be by the time the Crow gets out? You see, Domska retakes the lead. Randers, I think he is approaching. Yes, he's gone round the last corner. Going to the start-finish straight. The Crow is moving. Randers, I think, is gonna be ahead, but only a little bit, because the Crow is right there. Oh, they are so close together. Oh, and there's a crash. No! There's a crash between the Crow and Randers. The Crow late on the brakes, really trying for that position. Randers closing the door. I think there will be words spoken about that. I don't think Randers is happy about that. Obviously. There will be words spoken about that. Randers is demoted to P4, still driving. Hopefully he has no suspension damage. And the Crow, I think he will be kicking himself for that. It's cost him a lot as well. P5 right now. And the big beneficiaries of that incident are Mr. Gerald Smith and Mr. Dustin. Although I'm not sure if they've stopped yet. And I don't think the timings tell us that. So we'll just kind of have to look at these numbers as they are now and be happy about them. I don't know. I haven't had any more retirements. That's always good to check. And not much has moved. Oh, as I say that, somebody retires. Who has retired? Not Runners of the Crow. It's the first two people I look at. But HGM still. We've got Nacho, we've got Ride or Die, Max Manfred, PC Finch. I think we've lost Hans Topo. Unfortunately, our next retirement means we have another double DNF for the Parmalat team. That's unfortunate. Hans was absolutely showing some potential for points today. Don't quite know what happened to him. We'll quickly check the group chat. Hopefully something is being said in there. It gives me information on what happened, but I don't think nothing's been said yet. Okay. this is how things stand now. Big benefits for the Benetton team. If Randers has any damage, it will be massive benefits in the end. If I had to guess, I do think Dustin and Geralt have stopped. I seem to recall so, and I feel like the gap would be 20 seconds bigger if they hadn't. It will be behind Randers well and truly. I think most people have stopped now, so it's essentially a sprint until the end. And I wonder how Randers is going to drive. He will feel a little bit robbed, as the Crow might be struggling with some damage. He has now moved behind Michael. We'll be very happy to pick up a P5, because the top 5 were loose. They were cut loose from everyone else. So to be in there, I think it also speaks to how much better Michael is at driving than selecting his car. Jokes aside, how well he has been driving today. I feel like if he made any mistakes today, he would not be in this position at all. And mistakes are so common on this track, as we have seen in so many areas. So big thanks to Madu for following on Twitch. Reminds me to tell you all that, of course, I do this about every other week. Next week we will have a race, remind you. If you want notifications, if you want to see that I am online, probably streaming these races, do make sure to hit that follow button. And also, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You will see the VODs pop up in your subscription feed. When they are ready, they will be uploaded very quickly, normally about 12 hours after this the race is done, normally the next morning. And I quickly want to check who we're looking at. Look at the Crow. Oh, the Crow is actually straight up on the inside. That's what I wanted to look at, because I thought he had an opportunity. There he is. And he has moved himself back up into 5th place. In the top 5 where he belongs. Shame for Michael. But I think we'll be happy with 6th place anyway. That's an excellent result. If he can be 6th place every single race, I think he will be satisfied enough. The top 5 is extremely fast. This is the most interesting fight that we'll see. Oh, this is really funny. This is really funny. The top 6 is nearly exactly as it was the last race. In fact, the top 8 is nearly as it was the last race. Top 7, I guess. Silva unfortunately had to retire. But yeah, Dustin, if he gets overtaken, the top 5 is exactly as it was last race. I'll quickly check the... there's no penalty so far. I just want to look at that. The game can sometimes give penalties. The time penalties will be given at the end of the race as well. That's why I think the Crow's P5 is maybe a bit provisional. As long as Michael stays close enough behind, he will have a shot to overtake by penalties. Of course, not how you want to see things. I think he wants to be ahead on track. But yeah, if he's aware of the incident as it happens, then... And he might be, because I think he came in close behind. He might be aware something happened. If he can stay close enough to the Crow, there's a very good chance he will be taking that position. I'm assuming the Crow will be deemed... Oh, I just see Randers shaping up for a move, but it's just a little bit too far away, and Dustin do exactly what he needs to do to defend that. So no changes here yet. Quickly want to go a little bit further back. Look at these two. They're very close together. I say that's not actually what I was looking at. Max Manfred was close to right there. I think it made a small mistake as a result. That's how things are. I think Domska's making his way through. Randers is also going to try to make his way through. Dustin defensive. Oh, is he? Oh, he's going to be okay. Oh, he had to lift a little bit. Randers not quite in the right position. Could have benefited from that. Small touch. It's fine. These drivers are completely fine. Hopefully, Randers has no damage on his front wing, because even a little bit could massively hamper your straight line speed. And he would, in fact, have to look more into his mirrors than ahead in the sense that the Crow would be catching up to him if he gets any front wing damage. Yeah, he absolutely has Dustin looking in his mirrors. He is faster than Dustin. He's proven that ahead of the pit stops. He's going to have to prove that he's able to overtake after them. Of course, while it is maybe unfair that Randers got taken out, assuming that's how the stewards rule, you cannot punish any other driver. You can't put them back. You can't say, oh, just let Randers through because he should be there. That's not how things work, of course. Randers will have to do that recovery himself. And while it is extremely easy to soak over having lost positions because of something that wasn't your fault in any way, it is extremely rewarding to overcome it. And I think that's what Randers is trying to do here. He is really looking. Dustin is, oh, I think he got a little bit close there on that corner, had to back out. As a result, will not be able to go for a move here. Thought maybe he does it anyway, but no, this is not possible. Out of this corner also, you'd have to be crazy because of the chicane. You can see he's really trying to set up a little bit wider, going for a little bit of a better apex, a little better exit. He is really trying, but Dustin is actually one of the most experienced drivers on this grid. I think he does karting in real life as well. Dustin knows exactly what he's doing. This is a really tough test. If I thought finishing ahead of Dustin normally was impressive last time, if he overtakes him on track and then finishes ahead of him, that will have been an absolutely solid job from Randers, who has already done a really good job today. I don't want to come across as a Randers fan, but he's really shown up in these races. Exciting to watch to me, and today he's just in the biggest fights. It's the main story of today to me. Almost the driver of the day. Domska's performance is so dominant though. It's really admirable, especially on this track, which is so tough. Randers really fighting today. Fighting demons even after an incident like that. But he really has to focus on Dustin. And I want to look away. There's honestly currently no other concrete fights going on. These are the two that we'll be looking at for a little while. A little bit of grass from Dustin, but also a little bit of a lock-up from Randers. Balances it out perfectly, and also the chicane completely eliminates any advantage you get into the first one. Any small advantages anyway. If you miss the first one, yeah, you will lose position. There's some damage actually on the side of the road. Somebody had an accident there. I think it's too pressing. We're entering the last 9 laps it will be. I think maybe Domska's in the last 10. Of course he's not. He's not a full lap ahead of these boys. Let's see, JJ. Has he lost position or was it PC Finch? PC Finch has turned around. And, well, he's going to have to spin it around. Unfortunate mistake from me. He was in the points. Has unfortunately lost them to JJ. And there he goes. He continues the journey. That's really unfortunate. JJ now into the points. Will be getting a point for his troubles today, provided he stays here. Back to this fight then. I cannot stay away from these two. They do display the most amount of fighting, as I think Manfred is also catching Ride or Die in the Jordan. Oh, I said no, it's actually the opposite. Manfred, I think is he losing? No, he was letting someone go. Okay, he was just letting Statue, I think, pass, who's also been having a quiet but very good race today. Very solid. I'm sure he will complain again. Nah, it's fine. He's doing a great job. So last race. Oh, and I think somebody is a Game Tiger. Yeah, Game Tiger I think has a lot of damage. Yeah, it doesn't have a rear wing, which is much worse than losing your front wing because your car loses all stability and you're forced to go this slow in all situations. Because any turning you do without a front wing at a high speed, or rear wing, excuse me, completely destroys your car. You will be flying into a wall at very high speeds. So very nice to get that to the garage. Yeah, as it stands, his teammate JJ will be getting the first points for the team. Nadi. Brandes is looking. There is just no concrete, not really an opportunity. Dustin is doing everything right. He's shown a couple of signs of weakness. It is, of course, very, very difficult to really get around. But one mistake will give an opportunity, and if Brandes really puts his foot in, he can absolutely get this third place position before the end of the race. They enter lap 31. 8 laps to go. When I said 9 earlier, it was actually 10. Laps to go is the difference in current lap and total laps plus 1. Plus 1 because we count both the current lap and the last lap. 31 and 38. Oh, there's a little bit of a collision between Dustin and Brandes there. That's getting unexpectedly close. Hopefully he doesn't have any damage from that. It's that corner where Dustin, I think he really struggled somehow. And Brandes has a lot of grip. Can Brandes turn that into an opportunity? Because I think that's not the first time I've seen him get close there. So far, it is just a case of maybe keeping up. Biggest benefactor from this fight, honestly, has to be Gerald Smith, who is now nearly 5 seconds ahead. If Brandes doesn't get through fast, that will absolutely be enough to secure that second place, provided no mistakes are made. It's more like almost 4 seconds ahead. So it's got to be very difficult for Brandes to get there, even if he gets past Dustin now. You'd have to gain half a second a lap. Better. You'd have to do better than half a second a lap, which is crazy. Missed the apex there a little bit. Now I'm really curious to see what happens here. Dustin goes a bit wide. Late apex. Now he gets it right this time. Speculation on the downforce level of Brandes maybe being a bit higher than Dustin. That might be the case. Strack, of course, will be very high downforce, a lot higher than Interlagos, probably. It's just so twisty. Here especially, you want all the little bit of downforce you can get. There's also fast sweeping corners, where it's even more important. Well, here he misses the corner quite a bit. Also be entering the dirty part of the tarmac. As a result, no chance this time. Gives us an opportunity to maybe quickly look through the grid. Is something happening? Nacho is close to HGM. HGM has been having a very good race today. I think he will be very happy with it today. Nacho really will want this position. I don't think he will be happy until he takes this. And for the team of Sauber, which he's driving for, it would also be a big boon. Of course, you have to be patient. Some corners do not really allow overtaking. think he's setting it up still. Here is also tricky, but the next corner, I think he's gonna try and go for that. If he can get a good exit. Oh, it is a big mistake from HGM. He keeps it on the tarmac. He saves the car. Still P9. Still the points that come with P9. But he does lose a position to Nacho, who's currently in P8. And that might be the best he's gonna do. The gap ahead is very, very large. But that is to a statue who is behind his teammate. Michael also doing an excellent job today, even if he is in the wrong car. He's doing a great job today. I think Randers has lost touch with Dustin a little bit. There's two possible reasons. He might be trying to recuperate a little bit. Trying to take a little bit of a he may have given up on Geralt. Take a bit of distance. Comfortable with the car again. Alternatively, I think it's more likely that maybe his tires are a bit cooked. Staying too long behind another driver will mean that you will not have as much downforce. Your tires will slip a little bit more. They will wear a little bit more. As a result, they might be a lot worse off than Dustin's right now. I think he will start catching up a little bit before the end of the race. I do really appreciate him giving the opportunity to show me, for me to show off some other drivers, because he's been hogging the limelight a little bit. PC Finch again in 13th. I think it was the biggest heartbreak, honestly. He was in P12, made a mistake. JJ got past, and at one point eludes him, because as it stands, he's going to finish in 13th. 2 races in a row. The first 2 races. Both races. The only 2 races. Which is tragic. JJ will be happy to finally get a point on the board. Max Manfred will be tripling his point haul. Last time he got the last point. As it stands, 2 points. Maybe 3, because Ride or Die isn't that far ahead. Ride or Die has no points on the board either yet, so we'll absolutely be happy with a position like this. HGM, despite losing a position to Nacho, I think he will be satisfied. Doing a great job today. And wait, what happened to Randers? What happened to Randers? No! No, I look away for I leave him alone for a few minutes, maybe a minute, not even a minute, and he's lost positions. It's like the opposite of a commentator curse. He needs me. And as a result, the Crow is ahead. Now, I think he understands. He definitely understands that if he stays close to the Crow, he will probably get that position back. Judging by what we saw on the stream. So he will be pushing. I think he's starting to struggle with the car and with the tires. It's tragic, really. I didn't see what happened. I look away for a minute and everything goes wrong. As Randers in P5 will probably be fighting to get to the Crow, past him maybe even, just to show who's boss. Don't know what his plan is. We'll see. The Crow in P4 then as it stands. We've got Dustin in P3. We'll be happy to have parried Randers' attacks, all of them, one by one. And as a result, it looks like a double podium for the Benettons, because Geralt is in P2, second P2 of the season it will be, as it stands. And Domschka, what an amazing rise of Domschka this season. He's been absolutely visible in the last few seasons. He's been there, but not nearly as dominant as this. I think, depending on how it goes, like Alan Fry was absolutely dominant throughout the whole season. I wonder if Domschka is going to do the same thing. We'll have to see. It is a decently long season, 8 races, second one so far. As he enters his second to last lap, we'll quickly go back to see what is going on. Randers still 3-second gap. I think that's well good enough to maybe regain that position. Max Manfred will be hoping for a mistake of ride or die, because we're running out of time here. HGM P9 behind Nacho. That is exactly as it was. I don't think HGM could lose a position if he tried. Simply because of the way finishing works if you're a lap down. Would have to try extremely hard. I think it would literally have to park the car. There's no other way. I don't think Ride or Die, the driver he's behind. I think it might be Arderick. No, it's not. It's the other McLaren. Arderick struggling a lot today. Just Game Shark, who is pointing the wrong way, but flicking the car back around. And he is... Yeah, okay, that's just the way to the track. Okay, oh, and here we get to the tire model. If you go on the grass, your tires are not up to snuff anymore. There will be grass on the tires in real life, and in this game you will lose grip as well. Ooh, is Max Manfred very, very close behind Ride or Die. This might be a little bit of a race to the death of the Grand Prix. As Domska, right ahead of them, enters the last lap. Where will we? Ride or Die, Max Manfred, these two will be fighting for it. We'll have to keep an eye on these two. And as they get to the slow section, we will be switching to Domska, as I think it's somebody else struggling again. I think Arderick has unfortunately retired. So he will be our last retirement, likely. We got Ride or Die still defending from Max. They are close together. You can see Domska in the distance there. Will be finishing another very dominant Grand Prix on the South American continent. The gap seems to be just a little bit too big for Max Manfred. I don't think he's gonna make it. Domska is absolutely going to make it. He's going to make it 2 in a row. Geldsmith a pit stop behind, roughly. So Domska showing that he is absolutely the man to beat this season. Last race was not a fluke, even if it was way beyond what people would have predicted him based on previous results. Showing that this Ligier car absolutely suits him. This V12 Formula 1 car of 1995 suits him perfectly well. And he wins this Argentine Grand Prix. Makes it 2 in a row for Domska. 15 points on the board. Maybe another one for fastest lap. You do, of course, get a point for fastest lap. There he does his donuts. Absolutely deserved race win. And what else do we have? Gerald Smith, a P2, has also finished backwards. Dustin, P3. A double podium for the Benetton team. They will be very happy about that. The Crow is going to finish in P4. Somebody else has retired. I think... I'm not going to register that retirement. It's Ride or Die. I'm not exactly sure where he finished. Okay, the results in the bid are going to be very, very provisional. I think he has crossed the finish line. I'm fairly certain he's crossed the finish line. Probably ahead of Max Manfred. We're not sure about that. These results will be extremely provisional in a bit. We're not changing things anymore. Randers finishes in P5 anyway. Michael in P6. Statue P7. Finally not having the issues he had last race at the start. Nacho in P8, taking up more points home for Sauber. HGM in P9, taking home points finally. Be very happy with that. Max Manfred in P10, JJ next, and PC Finch. Well, okay. -1 for a couple of those people, because Ride or Die was probably P10. It's not exactly what it shows, because he's not on the list. Fastest lap of the race appears to have been, and I need to check this. Yeah, I think it's just Domska with like a second ahead of everyone else. So he gets the fastest lap as well. We're going to, some of these results, we're going to show these race results off to you. Domska will be taking home 16 points because he also got the fastest lap. Gerald Smith next. Dustin P3 improves his previous finish. And then the Crow in P4 provisionally. We will, these are provisional standings, of course. We will double check change it if the results change because of penalties and such. Randa's currently in P5. So Michael P6 will be extremely happy with that. It's virtually best of the rest. Statue is in P7, finished at P7. Nacho 8th. Sauber team, extremely well done. Double point for Jordan as well. HGM and Max Bamford both taking home points, 6 in total. Ride or Die, I think, finished in between. We'll double check after the race or before next race. JJ in the Minardi will be taking home a point. Then if we go to the next page, here it is. The PC finish also finished, but no points, unfortunately, just like G1 Game Tiger. Our retirements are Ardoric, Hans Topo, Kamikaze, E Silver, and Bo having their own issues. People very happy with a Domska victory and a very deserved victory as well. He did an excellent job. So, there were some issues with the standings. Unfortunately, I couldn't show them on the stream, but I have since fixed them. Provisional standings are right here. Of course, this is without any incidents having been reviewed. All of this might be completely wrong, or somewhat wrong, by the time the next race comes around. I will be correcting things when that race starts, but for now, the provisional standings are as follows. Domska, of course, in P1, having won both races and 1 extra point for the fast lap in this race alone. We've got Gerald Smith in second place. Dustin and Randers are equal on points, but Dustin has better finishes. Finishing, of course, third this race, and fifth the race before that. Fourth, sorry, the race before this one. Randers finishing third and fifth, but he got an extra point for the fastest lap last time. So that's why they're equal on points, but Dustin has a better countback, and as a result, he's third right now. Of course, many things can happen there still. The Crow in P5 as it stands. There will, of course, be some review about that incident that we saw during the race. I've got Michael in P6, very solidly there. P6 twice in a row. Statue is in P7. We've got Nacho in P8. Silver in P9. Unfortunately, not able to finish today, but had good points last time. So there in P9, he still stands. ACM will be very happy to be in P10, taking his 4 points today for Jordan as well. Ride or Die for the McLaren in P3. Cavallor also in P3, having done it in. I'm not actually sure why there's a difference there, because I don't think. No, it's fine. Okay, we'll leave it. Ride or Die is in P11. I will double verify that because I don't fully believe that they should have the same number or a different number. I think it should be the same. Yeah, then the next group. Max Manfred also in the points, and I've got Mario not here today, but he was there last time, so he got a point then. JJ, of course, got points today. A single one is in P15 currently. The rest of the people, PC Finch, Game Tiger, Ardoric, Hans Topo, Yuriev 103, Kamikaze, all, and Abo. They are all, they all have no points yet. They have participated. Papnasi and Ocean, like there's a couple of people that haven't participated yet. We should see some other reserve drives next time, so that's something to look at. Here's a couple more. And I now know why Cavallor is one behind. It's because he didn't participate this race. And Ride or Die has participated in both. So it gets a small benefit. Cool. Team standings. Ligier, P1. Of course, both drivers having done an excellent job last time. This time, Domska again very dominant in the Crow. Having had a bit of a tough race, I think, for him. I think he expected a lot more. Fighting with Randers didn't go the way he wanted it to, and it cost him quite a few points. Benetton, as a result, is quite close, and potentially even closer after the race is reviewed by stewards. Williams and Sauber, P3 and P4. That could be a very interesting fight in the future of the season. Ferrari in P14 with 14 points in P5. Excuse me. Is actually doing an excellent job in that team as well today. I've got Jordan's in P6, a very good point haul for both drivers today, and today alone, I believe. Maybe someone else got One of them got a point maybe last time. I forgot. McLaren, 5 points now. Minardi has got 1. Of course, JJ getting that point today. Tyrrell, Simtek, and Pamela are without points as of right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you have been, of course, let me remind you of the calendar. Next time we'll have the Italian Grand Prix. We'll be in Imola, I believe. Will be next week. Same time, same place. All the times are in Central European time. Or after the Portuguese Grand Prix, starting the Portuguese Grand Prix, the 30th of March, that's when daylight saving times kicks in. Will also be 19 o'clock for the summertime as well, for the daylight saving time. 7 o'clock, 19. That's it. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have been, don't forget to follow if you enjoy these races and would like to keep up with the SSR Racing Club. If you're on YouTube, of course, same thing. Subscribe if you enjoy these races and want to see more of them. Thank you so much for watching and have a good night.